Okay, in the last video, we were training to become a paladin, and during the training, we were instructed to attack an innocent girl who happened to be a former. But then Ruari came and mollywopped all of us, so now the protagonist quit the training, and we're being told to go research the Night of Light. So let's get into this. The Knight of Light, Lu Lavada. He is truly a hero among heroes. Under his leadership and bravery, humanity was saved. With his legendary spear, the Brionac, he was invincible. He succeeded King Nuaha and put all his efforts into the reconstruction of Erin. Then he vanished without a trace. Although he is no longer with us, his presence is still felt in the knightly orders of Erin. And then there was a paladin, Redair, who was the greatest knight in Iman Macha. He died heroically in the battle during the tragedy of Iman Macha. I hear he's very strong and brave and loved by the people. I only heard all of this after I arrived here. Come to think of it, that traveling merchant Price said he was close friends with Redair. Maybe you should speak with him. He stops in Iman Macha every few days. He's strange, but he's not a bad guy. You should speak with Price if you want to know more about Lu Lavada or Redair. Okay, let's go find him. Finding Price used to be a pain back in the day because he would travel to just various locations across the game, so it was really hard to find him. But now it's pretty easy to know where he's at. There's a timer in the game that tells you wherever he appears. So you were the one looking for Redair, like myself. I heard about you, and I was curious to see who it was. So, Feltshire, I think I heard about your story once before. Are you interested in why I'm looking for Redair? I am actually Redair's old friend. If he just heard the name Price, I know he would be ecstatic. It's pretty ironic that he's a merchant and his name is Price. Wow. Then I heard his name Redair, everywhere. It's amazing. As his friend, of course I'm happy for him. I heard a rumor that you were looking for Lu, the Knight of Light. You were probably looking for Redair because you probably heard that Redair is a Knight of Light who can match up with Lu. I can't believe you believe such nonsense. You are naive for a Militian, ha ha ha. Price tears up with laughter and pats your shoulder. You've come to the wrong place. The Redair I know is a great guy. I know he gets respected as a paladin, but he's no Knight of Light, I'm sure of that. If you want to find the true path of the Knight of Light, you need to look for Lu. Redair being compared to Lu, that's a bunch of nonsense. If you ever met Lu, you wouldn't say things like that so easily. The story of Redair, it's famous around here, but if you ask people from other places about Lu, every one of them will have heard of him without a doubt. Lu is not just an ordinary guy. You heard about his feats during the Battle of Maj Tereha, right? He's someone who wielded the Brionac, the weapon that can annihilate even the gods, and stormed around the battlefields, saving as many lives as there are stars in the skies. Well, we were somewhat of acquaintances before. Redair is far from being close to him. Only people who don't know anything would dare compare Redair to Lu. But you know what? I was asking around in the meantime. I heard Redair lost to the Dark Lord during a battle and was killed by him. Well, in the end, he was just an ordinary human being. What do you expect? Great, what a headache. I have to explain all this to my customer, but I don't want to go through it all over again. I wonder if there's anybody out there that knows more about how Redair died. Well, he seems to already know enough, if we're gonna be honest. Since I wasted so much time dealing with you, why don't you go find out more for me, huh?
What do you mean by that?
Do you know how many people I asked around because of you about Redair? Now I'm all tired. Do you remember, Ruari, how you wanted to become a paladin in the past? Even back then, you said there was something about the group of paladin knights that you could not be convinced of. You even knew about that? I can't say I know everything, but I know most of your past. What, you're quitting already? What I want is not a bunch of talk about justice and power. Ruari, you're stupid. You were so determined before, but now you just want to quit. Forget it, it'll be a waste of time for me to even try to explain. In the end, the terms humans constantly refer to, righteousness and justice, are created solely by human standards. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say the whole justice and righteousness is just very subjective, depending on which side you're on. What humans consider truth or goodness are simply standards that were set by those who first explained them. That's not only selfish, but irresponsible, don't you think? What are you trying to say? You should already know this. It is dangerous for a human being to have more power than one can handle.
It not only brings tragedy upon that person, but to the people around that person as well.
Even so, things like that happen often. and are considered to be the norm. It means that Triana is not the only victim of such. But I thought formers wanted to exterminate the humans. Aren't you the same? That's a myth humans believe in without hesitation. What I'm interested in is connecting Aaron to the world outside of Aaron. That way I can show the humans how idiotic it is for them to believe that the universe revolves around them. And if he did that, wouldn't the formers just kill all the humans if that even happened? Even if you say it in that way, there's no difference between your definition of justice and the justice for humans. Justice for humans and justice for formers are one and the same. Then who will be responsible for the aftermath after the inevitable collision between the two? Don't try to persuade me with your former ideology. Did you forget that I'm human? We do not fulfill our greed by manipulating the standards of justice. The duty of a Dark Knight is that we train ourselves by using the wisdom that the Creator gave us and stop humans' arrogance and tyranny. That is the duty of the Dark Knight. Ruari, can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? Okay, he's obviously trying to tell him that he wants Ruari to become a Dark Knight. It is a sin to confuse your stupidity as a voice of reason. And one more thing, I am not a former. I am a human, just like you. A human like me? Yes, I am a human who desires to destroy every irrational idea and wants everything to reset and start from scratch, fair and square. So he wants to cause a great reset. So now it's time to ask Craig about Radire's final moments. Felshire, I thought you had given up. You aren't still trying to become a paladin, are you? You tell him about Radire's death at the hand of the Dark Lord. Where did you hear that? It sounds like you're trying to come up with excuses for failing to complete your paladin training. It is not my fault that you weren't an able student. What are you talking about, bro? Oh, please. Radire was the leader of the paladins, and I was his right-hand man. I swear on my honor as a paladin that he did not die in such a pitiful death. Radire died for different reasons. During the tragedy of Iman Macha, he was sacrificed to the vileness and cowardice of the formers, but his skills surpassed the Dark Lords. In fact, I learned the sword from Radire, and his skills were far beyond my own. If you claim that Radire fell to the Dark Lord, then you are claiming that I'm no match for him either. How can such a man train someone to defeat the Dark Lord? Do you see how your claims are an insult to the Paladin Order? Let me make one thing clear. After the tragedy of Iman Macha, I have trained and adapted and prepared to face the Dark Knights. It is our duty as agents as light to stand against the Dark Knight and protect Iman Macha. This is the charge of the Paladins. And here you are quitting the training course and slandering the Paladins to challenge our power. You made me sick. Think before you speak or we'll have a problem.
Okay.
Oh, please. Anyways, let's see what Price has to say about this. Bro, acting like he completely forgot that we were commanded to attack a chick with swords. Like, come on, man. Radire was superior to the Dark Lord? Paladins were formed to fight against the Dark Knights? That's what this Paladin leader told you as he was getting riled up? Well, if he got that upset, I guess it must be true. It's not like I really researched into what I told you the last time either, so don't take it too seriously, heh. I wasn't trying to belittle the Paladin's capabilities and power. Why does it sound like Price is being sarcastic? Anyway, his name was Craig, you said? I should remember that. My customer will be disappointed that he can't repay Radire, but I'll tell him that what this Craig guy said, and it should be all good. I guess everything is basically settled. Anyway, you seem way too obsessed with Radire, regardless of what the Paladin leader had told you. Can I give you some advice? If you truly want to be a Knight of Light, as you say, it seemed more preferable that you would find your own path, rather than trying to follow the footsteps of someone else. Either way, thanks for researching Radire as requested of you. Since it was helpful, let me give you a gift. If you take this memento to the Dumbarton bookstore, Aria will give you a book. Books aren't really my friend. I think it's a book about good deeds. It will help you if you want to become a Knight of Light. And I've been observing you, and you seem to be too easily swayed by what others say. So don't try to adhere to everything that's written in the book. Instead, make it an opportunity for you to analyze and observe the difference between what others think is good and what you think is good. I don't know when I'll see you again, but I'll hear about your thoughts the next time I see you. I'll be looking forward to it, haha. I don't see how reading a book's gonna help me become a paladin, and I kind of believe Price more than Craig when it comes to this stuff, because Craig seemed like he was very emotional and worked up. But yeah, let's go to the bookstore. Good deeds. Food for the soul. Gosh, I don't have a copy here. Don't worry, I can order one and have it delivered to you by owl.
A few moments later.
Dang, that was like lightning fast. Those owls are really something else.
I'm going to summarize everything that happened in the book so you guys don't have to hear me read it.
There were these two like young girls, and one was from a rich family and one was from a poor family. The one from the rich family always helped out the poor family, despite the fact that her father was against it and he looked down on poor people. But then like one day when there was a disaster that struck, the poor one helped the rich one, and then everybody realized, oh, you shouldn't discriminate and blah blah blah, and that you should do good deeds and you should be a nice person. What the book is trying to convey is that like when you do good things for other people, they may return the favor and help you in the end. And this whole philosophy of like doing good deeds and helping each other is what made Iman Maja a better place and a better just overall area to live in.
What?
You're trying to do good deeds by playing matchmaker. Felishar, you're good with people and I think I can trust you. I'm actually very lonely. Everybody assumes that I have lots of boyfriends because I'm pretty.
Stop the cap.
So nobody tries to actually approach me romantically. Well, that's not true. Sometimes creeps approach me. And it's not like a girl like me can just ask a guy out. I don't know what to do. Felishar, do you know a good match for me? Bro, like, what has this story even turned into? Like, we were literally like trying to save the world and now we're playing matchmaker for some random chick. Helping two lonely souls find love, that is an act of kindness indeed. Felishar, I applaud you. Since it's you, I'll let you in on a secret. It's been a long time since I left my hometown, and on days like this, I get a little homesick. I swore I wouldn't go back until I was a success, but who knows when that will be. Perhaps if I had the company of a lovely lady, I would have some hope to get me through the day. You tell Gavin that Deline might be a little lonely. Really? The goddess must be looking out for me. In that case, I want to tell Deline. I want to tell her how I feel, but do you think you could help me out? Bro, she's literally 10 feet away from you. I'd like you to give this present to Miss Deline. I think that'll make it clear how I feel about her. I do it myself, but I'm much too shy. Well, that sounds like a personal problem. You tell Deline about Galvin and you give her the teddy bear. This teddy bear is from Galvin? Galvin really feels that way? Well, you see, helping people get together isn't much of a good deed, is it? Then what was the point of this then? You should do a real good deed instead. Why don't you help the soldiers of Iman Macha? Edohan. Edohan will know what the soldiers need. That's it. I think you should help the hardworking soldiers. That's much more important than me and Galvin. Oh, and I'm really not that lonely anyway. Anyways, that was a waste of time. But like, if they want me to do good deeds, I should be like helping the community out, not playing matchmaker. You want to lend me a hand? Well, if you really want to help me, I could use a dependable knight. Iman Macha could use all the help it can get against the formers. You're not too bad in a fight yourself, Felishar, but there's someone in particular I have in mind. Her name is Arwen of Dumbarton. I hear she teaches fighting these days. She used to be a paladin of Iman Maja. I hate to see her skills go to waste. Power of formers grows day by day. We could use someone like her on our side. Yes, I think I should meet with her in person. Felishar, as a future paladin, I'd like you to come with me. I will prepare to leave for Dumbarton immediately. What? This is so random. Leave me be already, I'll never return to the Paladins. Aranwen, please just listen to what I have to say. The night of the tragedy, it wasn't your fault, but if you turn back on the Paladins now, how are you any different than Redire? Wait, what is he talking about? Many Paladins lost their lives in Iman Maja. Even the townsfolk have lost their faith in us. We need great knights like you in order if we're going to ever recover. He seizes her hand and gazes into her eyes. Wait a minute, so we're playing matchmaker again? Aranwen, I beg of you, come back with us. Aranwen gazes right back at Ahohan, then lets go of his hand. I'm sorry, I don't think I can. I have no right to return to Iman Maja. Redire, Adohan, perhaps you don't remember, but I loved him. What? The night of the tragedy, I secretly traded my shift and spent the night with him in Garage Hills. As the sun rose over Iman Macha the next morning, everything was already over. The knight who took my shift was dead. With the help of a subordinate, Redire escapes. He abandoned his responsibilities and Iman Macha in his time of need. What does it mean to be a paladin? What is it worth? Since that day, it all feels so empty. He chose his own happiness over the well-being of others, and he knew no shame. He had no right to be a paladin. The fact that I abandoned my post and fell for a coward like him is shame to bear. Alright, I'm sure no words will change your mind right now. Just remember one thing. If you ever return, the Paladin Knights will always welcome you. So Price was right about Redire, and now Morrigan's rushing me. She already got released, so she should have her power back already. I honestly don't see why she even needs me for this. It says to talk to Tarlak. And if you remember in Generation 1, like, Tarlak has all the answers for literally everything in this game. So we should have just been working with him to begin with, instead of trying to do that training. Because that training was just a waste of time, if we're gonna be honest. You asked Tarlak about the relationship between the Knight of Light and the Spirits. The Spirits, the Knight of Light and the Spirits. You are one of those who believe you can actually become a Knight of Light like Lou through training, aren't you? I don't know if what I know will help you out, but I read somewhere that you have to learn how to use the 3 different types of power and harmony and maintain balance in order to become a Knight of Light. Those 3 types are power of God, spirit, and humans. The power of God represents the blessing of the gods which maintain the order of the world. The power of the spirits represents the power of nature that becomes embedded in the weapons of the night. And the powers of humans represents the willpower of humans who pursue justice and face its consequences on their own. If this is true and you chose the path of Knight of Light on your own, you have the blessings of Morgan in this place. So it seems you have the power of humans and gods already. So the only thing remaining is the power of the spirits. Spirits are the souls within all things, living and non-living. The souls that materialize and take the form of a semi-organism are referred to as spirits. Since it's the awakening of the power of nature, you can say the spirits themselves are a part of nature. Yes, to become a Knight of Light, you must use a tool that is enchanted with the power of the spirits. The most important item for a Knight of Light is the Paladin Armor. They say this armor helps disperse the enormous power of the gods constrained within the night, ensuring the power is balanced throughout the body so that it does not destroy the night. Paladin Armor was made with all of the wisdom of the ancients. I've heard only the owner of the armor can even wear it. This is all legend though. If you're interested in this armor, you should go see Air. Air is the spirit of water. You can find her on CO Island. Bro, Tarlak literally knew everything. He gave me a step-by-step guide on how to become a paladin so easily, bro. Like, this man knows literally everything. I was literally training with the paladins and was getting nowhere. And just one conversation with this man, Tarlak, and now I know exactly what I need to do to become a paladin. Like, this dude knows everything, literally. I remember Siwa Island used to be so dangerous because of like the golems back in the day. It was hard to even get to this island because back in the day, like, the moon gates would teleport you to random places and you had no control where you were going. You're here about the Paladin Armor, then you must also be looking for the power of spirits. Speaking to me won't do any good if you're not ready yet. You remind me of Lou, but you're not like him. You'll have to prove to me that you're ready to wear this armor. Paladins use this armor to protect the happiness of others. A true paladin would never turn down the request of a spirit. Do this favor for me and I'll tell you about the Paladin Armor. I wish it to be more attractive. Everyone who looks at me throws stones at me because I am ugly. I can't even go out in public, so I just hide here. Dang, that sucks. And don't tell me that it's the inside that counts. I can change my appearance however I please, but no matter what I look like, people still throw stones at me. How must I change my appearance so they don't throw stones? Since they throw stones at me on sight, I can't even start a conversation. If you can find out for me, I'll be able to lead a happy life, and people won't throw stones at me anymore. Please, I ask of you, please find out what people consider their ideal look. I don't know why they'd be throwing stones. She already looks pretty human, besides her like fish ears, but like she could easily cover that up with like a hat. Okay, so for this quest line, what we have to do is essentially we gotta talk to the NPCs that are in all these towns, and the NPCs will give a description of their ideal man or woman, and then you have to find that particular man or woman that fits the qualifications for the NPC's ideal type, and you have to tell them the name of that person. And this seems pretty simple, right? But the thing is, before this whole questline got reworked, the way it worked was you had to actually find another player character that fit those specific qualifications. And not only that, you had to bring that specific character to the NPC and then tell the NPC that character's name. And this was really difficult because there's like hundreds of thousands of customization options in this game. Because if you haven't noticed, everyone in this game looks completely different from one another. There's no clone player characters because there's so many customization options in this game. And me as a young middle schooler who only was able to play this game on like the weekends, so I didn't get to finish Generation 2, So I essentially just did generation 9 and above because I didn't have time to wait around and find these characters. And like I was able to actually finish some of these quests because by like sheer luck I was able to find like certain characters that fit the ideal type for these NPCs. But overall I was never able to finish it. So what I kind of figured was like, because you have the option to skip generation 1, I figured eventually they'll implement an update where I can skip generation 2. So what I did was I waited like 2 years, and sure enough, they made an update where you could skip generation 2. But then a couple years after that, they implemented a whole new like renovation to all the generations, and they tweaked some of the more difficult and tedious quests within them. So now I only have to find the ideal type of 1 NPC per village, and the ideal type for these NPCs are other NPCs. So I don't even have to worry about finding other player characters for this mission. My ideal type of girl? Geez, Felshire, hopefully this wasn't meant to make fun of me. You know who I like. She's my ideal type of lady, and I don't plan on looking around for others either. I don't understand why people don't take this so seriously. And it's Nora. Yes, you knew the answer too. When will Nora finally accept my feelings? Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, we already know Crystal's ideal type. It's obviously Tarlac. Please don't tell me you're asking me this because you don't know this already. Women may be prone to changing their minds, but this is humans we're talking about. Me, I never change. Please don't take this the wrong way. I am quite aware of a priest's duty. It's embarrassing to say it, but I still think about him. Forget the male-female relationship. I'm talking about a relationship between 2 human beings. My feelings for him serve as the guide that encourages me every day. The only thing I can pray for right now is for him to be happy. Heh, you know who. I know his is Ibby, I remember that. You knew it, so why did you even ask? Yeah, the reason why I got through all this really fast because I just googled who everyone's ideal type was. Like, I honestly didn't have time to be like guessing around. But let's go back to that water spirit chick. Oh wait, I was wrong. There's still one more I have to do. What? My ideal type? Felshire, no matter how hard I think, there's only one love of my life. I try to find someone else, but she's the only one my heart belongs for. Felshire, yes, you know her too. I don't care who loves me. All I want is her. Okay, well, it's obviously that chick from before. We started this whole matchmaker journey. That's right, yes, she's the one I've been looking for. Thank you, Felshire. I am now ready to be honest with my feelings. I'll never give up. Thank you for encouraging me, Felshire. Sniff, sniff. This world is a beautiful place to live in. Thanks a lot. But yeah, now let's go see the water spirit chick. So this is what people think is attractive. I should be safe from thrown rocks now, right? Oh, by the way, I haven't heard Nelly's answer. I'd love to find out what his ideal type is. Were you looking for me? Bro, where did he come from? I was right. When I heard you were looking for the ideal look, I knew Era of CO Island sent you. I didn't even talk to him. But whatever. Air, you've always been the one for me. Ever since I first laid eyes on you on CO Island, I've played my music only for you. But you threw a rock at me. How can you tell me this now, you liar? Do you know what that rock did to me? You humans, is it fun mocking other beings, ignoring the spirits? And yeah, he plays a song that I'm not gonna read. And yeah, you can slow it down and read that. I'm not reading that. I understand. That's why all those people were throwing rocks at me. Thank you for telling me this. And Nelly, I think I have more confidence after this. Hera blushes at Nelly. I'm sorry, Nelly, but could you give Felshire and me a moment in private? I need to say something only a Militian would understand. Oh, of course. When I see you next, I'll play you a song more fitting of your beauty. As promised, I'll tell you what I know about the Paladin Armor. I'd say you've earned it. Paladin Armor combines the blessing of God and man. First, you need armor made from a special ore that carries divine blessings, crafted with humanity's blessings. Then I'll imbue the armor with my spirit's blessing. In order to make that armor, however, you'll first need to find Gobni's manual in the Bari dungeon. Here's a letter for Edern and Bangor. Take this to him, and he'll help you get the Mithril Armor. Alright, bet. So I'm gonna do that in the next video.